Hi, I'm Alex and this is Tank Tested. Today we're talking about shrimp, not wine glasses. We'll get into how to actually keep shrimp in just a minute. We're at the Second International Shrimp Contest, USA. There are 100 batches of shrimp here, all competing for top prize. I'll be labeling many of the competition shrimp like this. And at the end of this video, I'll tell you who won. So write down your guesses in the comments below. And while you're at it, let me know which was your favorite. Now, I'm going to hand over the reins to one of the co-organizers of this competition.
My name is Therese Neal, and I'm the co-organizer of the International USA Shrimp Contest that we have at Aquatic Experience. We had 100 registered tanks, and we had 11 categories. With the hobby the way that it is, there are constantly new additions to what everybody is breeding and crossbreeding. In order to make it fair for the people that are entering the contest, you would want to have categories specific to the type of shrimp that they've been breeding or what's popular in the market at that time. The Caridina have a lot more categories because there are different crossbreeds using each color pattern, and you're able to create more. And the Neocaridinas, you're really limited to just certain colors.
The shrimp are judged on a variety of characteristics. Body shape, health, coloring, patterning, and size are just a few of the traits that each shrimp is judged on. These are top quality shrimp that are treated kind of like show dogs and carry a similar price tag.
This contest, we did an auction. The smallest amount was probably $35 to $40 maybe for the group, and the highest seller to the individual directly was $5,000.
So if you bought shrimp like this, how would you keep them healthy and happy? A good jumping off point is to look at how these shrimp were kept at competition.
The competition tanks that we use are the Denali 2.5 gallon cube tanks. We used two different types of substrate for this contest, one being the buffering soil, and that was used for the Caridinas. And then we also used just an inert black sand because Neocaridinas are not required to have any type of buffering for their water. What we use for filtration is the corner filter that is sold in the 10-gallon kits that we sell. It's your basic filtration. It has foam and it has an insert on the inside. There's no charcoal or anything like that. The shrimp actually don't need the water to move a lot as long as the water is clean and being filtered.
But as with any pet, a long-term home should be as spacious as possible.
Yes, you can have shrimp in a 2.5 gallon tank. Yes, you can keep shrimp in the size tanks that we use for the contest. I have them at home. However, in my personal opinion, I think that those tanks are harder to keep the water stable. So I would suggest, in my opinion, a 5 to a 10 gallon tank, 10 gallon being the better.
If you're interested in keeping shrimp, I've included a link to aquarium options and supplies you'll need in the description. One thing to keep in mind is that a shrimp colony does best alone. Even the smallest fish will eat shrimp. Both genuses of shrimp in this competition are scavengers, but there are some great shrimp-specific foods available. I've also included some food options I use in the description. But with feeding shrimp, I found the key is to underfeed rather than overfeed. Shrimp are sensitive to water conditions, and you don't want to foul your water with uneaten food. So, if you want to get into shrimp, where should you start?
I do recommend Neocaridinas for starters because they are a bit more flexible with water parameters, and they can take a licking and keep on ticking a bit more than Caridinas. The best places, I think, in my opinion, for purchasing your first starter group would be through other hobbyists. And I say that because hobbyists tend to take care of their livestock better than anybody.
But I think there are two other major reasons why you should start by buying from local hobbyists if you can. First, their shrimp are already acclimated to your water conditions, which means they will probably do better in the long run. Second, many hobbyists cull their shrimp, which means they only keep the prettiest offspring. If you're just getting started, you can buy culled shrimp for cheap and give them a good home. And honestly, they are just as fun to watch as these prize-winning shrimp. Now that you've seen 26 competition tanks, which do you think deserves top prize?
So the Shrimp King, aka Chris Lukop, he goes through and he looks at all the groups. I keep the identity of the breeders from him so he doesn't know whose shrimp he's looking at. And he selects the one that appeals to him the most, and that is the Shrimp King Award, and the second prize is People's Choice. And we encourage anyone walking by to go through and pick their favorite one.
Number 16 won the Shrimp King Award, and sorry for the mediocre shot. The People's Choice Best in Show Award went to number 6. Which would you have picked? My favorite was number 11. They've just got such a striking pattern. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe and hit the like button, and I will see you next time.